machine. Still ranks near the very top among all defensive tackles in football in pressure rate and pass rush win rate. He's been awesome and continued his hot streak yesterday with a fumble recovery, 4 quarterback hits, and a sack. You can go ahead and compare that to the quote-unquote best defensive tackle in the draft the same year as Javon Dexter, Jalen Carter, who currently does not have a sack in 4 games this season. Ryan Poles may have yet another winner on the defensive side of the ball out of the draft. Shot or no shot. We can forget about Javon Dexter being good. He might be a Pro Bowler.
That's a shot. He's got 4 sacks in 5 weeks. He spent the offseason training, he said, like a wide receiver and a marathoner, and got his body completely remade. He had his 23rd birthday on Saturday. This dude's got, if he stays healthy, a decade of dominant football, 8 years of dominant football ahead of him.
Yeah, I believe that's a shot at this particular time, Cap, because we're watching him be a difference maker on that defensive line. We wondered coming into the season, besides Montez Sweat, who else could be able to be a difference maker on the line. I think, again, every week someone's popping up to be able to be a difference maker for this defense. It's not necessarily about having 8 or 9 sacks in a game. It's just about being able to put pressure on the quarterback, and we've seen a lot of that with the Bears so far. So, yeah, I think that is definitely a shot. That's a guy we were looking forward to seeing how he could develop, and guess what? So far, so good.
So far, so good.
It feels like this is what Eberflus needed for this defense to really go to the top, is that engine in the middle of it. And Javon Dexter becoming that guy, not having to spend $20 million to go find him. Like, I was upset they didn't get Christian Wilkins. But if Javon Dexter's going to play like this and Andrew Billings is going to play like this, you didn't need him.
Correct. That's why free agency is not the panacea for everything that ails you. It's just not. Like, when you overpay for Christian Wilkins, what do you do to the development of a guy who's 22 years of age before Saturday? Got to let these guys play, man.
All right, everybody can go ahead and take a deep sigh of relief with the offense, and especially with Caleb Williams. After 3 weeks of national conversation that the Bears selected the wrong quarterback, they should have taken Jaden Daniels. Caleb Williams looked like a bust, a diva, whatever people were calling him. He has put together 2 straight games to quiet the haters. The game against the Rams, wildly efficient with the touchdown pass to DJ Moore. And then yesterday, big yardage day, going over 300 yards and a dominant win over the Panthers, getting the 2 touchdowns and posting a passer rating north of 120. Shot or no shot, Caleb Williams has put himself back in the mix for Rookie of the Year.
That's a shot. Absolute shot. He keeps taking steps, Jonathan.
Hey, he's always been in that conversation. It depends on how many yards that he gets and what his production is. I just think that looking at what he's been able to do so far, I've always thought that he was in the conversation. Will he continue to be in the conversation? At this point in time, yes.
That's up to him.
It's totally up to him. It's totally up to the offensive coordinator and the line. The weapons are there. He just has to execute it just like he has the last couple of weeks. The Rams game and what we saw on Sunday tells me that the arrow is pointing up for Caleb Williams. You know, Shay, and I know that all these talk shows and these football shows and podcasts need to be able to have content and things to talk about. But, you know, from my standpoint, Caleb Williams was not the dregs of society as far as the quarterback position is concerned. He was never the worst. You know what the worst is? That's Deshaun Watson. You want to see someone that's really struggling at the quarterback position? That's struggling. When it comes to Caleb Williams, it's just that he needed to be on the same page. It wasn't like he's getting buried behind the line of scrimmage every single game, because that wasn't the case. It just wasn't a connection with DJ Moore, with his receivers, with Shane Waldron. As you see the last couple of games, you could see a semblance of his days at USC, where he's connecting to his weapons. So he was never the worst. You know, the worst is Cleveland. That's where you can find the worst.
Oh, God. Can you imagine he was owed $150 million more. Deshaun Watson.
Mm-hmm.
Their team is horrible. And this is not a coaching thing. Like, Stefanski's won Coach of the Year twice. That guy can coach.
Mm-hmm.
But they've done a horrible job with that Deshaun Watson decision.
Well, it was always laughable, Hoodie, that 3 weeks into a player's career, you're going, you selected the wrong quarterback and he's a bust. You should have taken Jay. It's 3 weeks into the career. Like, I get it if we see a full season of Caleb Williams looking like Bryce Young and Jaden Daniels is what he is, and you want to have the national conversation. Did the Bears take the wrong quarterback?
Yes.
3 weeks in, what are we doing?
Like he stinks. Like he'll never get it. You know who doesn't get it? Bryce Young doesn't get it. Because you know why? It wasn't just by a week. It's just watching a season of it. And you're saying, boy, he needs some help. Not just coaching offensive line, but just he needs help.
Correct.
So I just said that's why I always think about the great Jeff Dickerson when we were doing shows together. And I told him, I said, we're never going to be on First Take. You understand that, right? Like, we're never going to be on First Take, but we could be on Mild Takes. Correct. It's like, we're never going to have I said, but we could be on Mild Takes. That Mild Take would be watch every week, make your determination for that particular week of what's happening with this quarterback, that player, that team, and then wait until next week and then comment on it from there. But these big, bold declarations and these big, bold opinions about Caleb Williams being awful just based on a few games, it's just
200-300-yard games already.
It's unbelievable.
He's over at almost 1,100 yards through 5 games. Like, let's keep going, man.
That's all it is.
I wanted 4,000. Let's go.
All right, Shay, what else do we have?
Shane Waldron was pretty much public enemy number 1 after the first 3 weeks of the season. People were blaming all of the offensive struggles on Waldron. The play calling was called absurd. Now they've put 2 solid performances together with this offense, a good rushing attack against Los Angeles and a very complete, balanced offensive onslaught yesterday against Carolina. At one point, Caleb and the Bears had more scoring drives than Caleb had incompletions. It feels like the heat is off of the Bears offensive coordinator as the scheme settles in and starts to click. So shot or no shot, the Waldron slander of the first 3 weeks was a bit undeserved.
That's a no shot. No, it was deserved. And you know why it was deserved? Because the players talked to him. When you have a team meeting with some of the key elements of the offense and the offensive coordinator this early in the season, no, it's warranted because you want to get everyone on the same page. Absolutely. Even as a fan on the outside looking in, Cap, you say, you're the head coach of the offense. Why does the offense look so stagnant? Why do you make those calls in the Colts game? Why do you do that? It's because Waldron has to adjust to the talent that's in front of him. He has to realize he's not in Seattle anymore. That's the whole thing.
Correct.
Like you have a rookie quarterback in which you've never coached a rookie quarterback before. You got all these weapons offensively. You got to figure out how they can all get the football. You got to make sure the offensive line's on the side. All these things happening. So it's warranted. Absolutely. When you struggle in a big boy market like this, you will get the slings and arrows, and it's deserved. It's you should be like, hey, Shane, these veterans in the room are telling you can coach us harder.
No question. So you said shot or no shot? How was the question phrased? The last portion?
Shot or no shot? Well, the Waldron slander the first 3 weeks was a bit undeserved.
It's no shot.
No shot. It was deserved. But he's exactly right. When you run Khalil Herbert for a Wildcat, Khalil Herbert to the 2, Khalil Herbert to the 1, and then a speed option with DeAndre Swift. Yeah, no, that was deserved criticism. He learned.
But just the idea that they came to the coach and just said, hey,
meeting, we want to talk.
That's all. But that's a good thing, though.
Yeah, great. I love it. His doors open and they have that type of autonomy to do something.
And he's telling, and by the way, last 2 weeks, hands don't shake, calm hands. You notice that?
Correct.
He holds the place like a man.
He called the other day and said, tell him it's windy.
It was not windy. He was nervous. Shake. That's what he was.
Oh, God.
That's what happened, Cap. Uncomfortable. Oh, what if I call the wrong play? Kap and J could kick my ass in the morning. But notice the calmness of Joe. You see that?
Coming into the room. I got the plays right here.
That's right. Blood pressure 120/80. He was fantastic.
Let's go.
That's when you have confidence. Not so confident the first few weeks, though. The shaking play sheet. So now I think that was warranted. Absolutely. All right, Shay, can you get in one more?
Yeah, the Bears and Packers are currently tied at the bottom of the NFC North, each at 3-2 after the Packers beat the Rams yesterday in Los Angeles. One problem. Packers have not looked great to me so far this year. The defense is very takeaway happy, but they've also been gotten when they've played against good offenses, particularly Philly and Minnesota. And Jordan Love has yet to look like the guy we saw at the end of last year, instead looking more like the guy we saw at the start of last year, more often than not. Shot or no shot, the Bears are better than the Packers right now.
Did you say gotten?
Yeah.
That word?
Yeah.
Is it?
I've gotten hungry over the last hour.
It's okay.
The
The Bears are better than the Packers. Shot or no shot?
It's the Packers, man. Shot.
Really?
We also have the better quarterback.
Okay.
He just has to keep proving it.
Okay. Defense too?
Our defense is better than their defense.
Okay.
They have a better offensive line.
I think we should probably, I was going to say that we should break it down this way. Packers have a better offensive line to protect Jordan Love.
Yes. We have a better
Running game?
their running game's good too. Josh Jacobs is a stud.
Yes.
Our defense is better.
Okay.
Our punter is better. Our place kickers and their place kicker, both are their guy's a rookie, I think.
Uh-huh.
Our guy's proven. So I like their play caller better.
Yes.
LaFleur.
Mm-hmm. So it sounds like there's a lot more check marks toward the Packers.
No.
You sure?
Count them up.
Play caller.
I took my quarterback. I took my wide receiver room. I take my tight end room. I take my defense. I take my punter. I gave them the play caller. They probably have the best of the group of running backs, Josh Jacobs.
Yeah.
And their offensive line. We win.
Okay. Shay, is that accurate? The way he lays it out there? I mean, the head coach means everything. Play caller and head coach.
Their head coach is more proven than our guy. That's just we're going to talk to Matt. That's not a shot at Matt. That's praise for the other Matt.
That's right. That's our lead.
I just call him Peter. Peter LaFleur.
Uh-huh.
Remember him from Dodgeball?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I do think defensively the Bears are much better than the Packers. And
No
that
question.
kind of makes the difference for me.
Yeah.
Is offensively, I think the Bears can close the gap. Packers offense has been about middle of the pack this season. It has not been special.
Mm-hmm.
Bears offense getting better, and the Bears defense, I think, is just significantly better than the Packers and significantly better than most teams. I kind of feel like the Packers might finish last in this division.
Then that's
gosh. That would be an absolute
I don't know.
greatest.
And by the way, that might be a photo finish to the bottom, the way this is going on. Everybody could be 500 against one another. Who knows? In this division, holy smokes, it's competitive.
To be clear, last place is like 9-8 in the NFC North. That ain't bad.
Yeah. So like you could still be like respectable at the bottom of this division in the NFC North.
Correct.
That's all. It's a shot because of the things that you just laid out there for me. Again, they have the check mark at the head coach and play caller, but that defense is just swarming. It's not just the line, it's the entire operation defensively. It's not a surprise. We just have to say it out loud. It's amazing how good that defense is.
Our complimentary football is really good.
3-7-7-6